She was talking to y'all. Would you say you sent Marjorie Taylor Greene to come take care of it? I think she got lost. Yeah, she over there eating with Tucker Carlson. Matter of fact, they're going to see Candace later. Yeah, they got Tim Pool over there. They got Jack Posobiec over there. They got Matt Walsh. Yeah, it's getting crowded. It's getting crowded. You might want to take care of it. What happened to Laura Loomer? She was in the reflecting pool last I saw. Then y'all know what happened to her? Hey, shout out to all of the subscribers and members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. These MAGAs, they just won't stop fighting. It all started when Tucker Carlson knocked Ted Cruz all the way down to Mexico or wherever he went on that vacation.
I'm asking about your allegation and the Prime Minister of Israel's allegation that Iran is trying to murder the president.
Killing terrorists is a good thing. Killing people who are trying to murder Americans is a good thing. Because if you're America first, you want to protect America. And so killing Osama bin Laden was a fantastic day for the world.
But you don't really believe that they're trying to murder Trump, or you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Then why aren't you calling for military action against Tehran right now?
Because they're not very effective. In terms of hitmen, their hitmen are not very effective. I do think...
So they're hitmen, but not the bad kind, the efficient kind?
No,
what are you saying?
They're a weak country who is on its knees, and I think we need to...
Then why are we so afraid of them? Why are they the biggest threat if they're a weak country that's on its knees?
Because they're trying...
I'm trying to keep track.
They're trying to develop...
I ain't seen a hateful beating like that since American History X. And it raises a dilemma. How do you react when you see two people you can't stand fighting? How do you just react like you at church? Just, Take your time, Tucker. Well, not content to leave well enough alone, MAGA decided to completely fracture itself. Something that wasn't lost on Candace Owens herself. Now, first into the fray was Marjorie Taylor Greene. And of course, naturally, she would be first because she don't know nothing about playing fair. So of course, she gonna try and start the 2-on-1. So she came to pick up Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is one of my favorite people. He fiercely loves his wife, children, and our country. Since being fired from the neocon network Fox News, he has more popularity and viewers than ever before. He unapologetically believes the same things I do, that if we don't fight for our own nation, our own people, then we'll no longer have a country for our children and our grandchildren. And foreign wars, intervention, regime change put America last, kill innocent people, are making us broke, and will ultimately lead to our destruction. That's not kooky. That's what millions of Americans voted for. It's what we believe is America first. Now, first things first. How did that taste to Ted Cruz? You know what I mean? That's gonna be awkward. That's gonna be awkward in a congressional cafeteria. You know what I'm saying? She told Ted Cruz not only can he not sit at their table, he not even allowed to eat in the dining room. Ted Cruz got to eat out front on the curb. That's what Ted Cruz got to sit after what she just laid down. Now, some interesting things that she mentioned. She mentioned the word kooky. Now, I wonder where the word kooky might have come from. Oh, here we have a use right here. Somebody please explain to kooky Tucker Carlson that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That from Donald Trump. Did she just violate? Oh, this thing got good. Someone should tell Marjorie Taylor Greene that she rode into office on Donald Trump's coattails and she's replaceable. So if she keeps running her mouth like she's bigger than Trump, she might just end up right back where she started, lifting weights in her garage somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And then right underneath that, MAGA fights. You hate to see it. But more than that, you'll love to see it. Oh no, it's gonna get way worse. It's gonna get way worse. She mentioned the neocon network Fox News, which, by the way, I was actually gonna make this a Who Raised Y'all, but it was pointless because we understood who raised them. It was Fox News. She mentioned the neocon network Fox News, which was something that Tucker Carlson himself took a shot at.
So what is that? That's not by popular acclaim. That's not like their viewer surveys. Like, we need a lot more Mark Levin. Less Jesse Waters, more Mark Levin. Mark Levin! What they're doing is what they always do, which is just turning up the propaganda hose to full blast and just trying to, knock elderly Fox viewers off their feet.
And she wasn't content just with the tweet neither.
Tell us how you see this conflict between Israel and Iran.
Matt, I see it just as you do, and you laid that out so well. That's the America First message, but it's also the truth that the American people have woken up to. We've watched for decades propaganda news. I'll call out Fox News and the New York Post. They're known to be the neocon network news. We have propaganda news on our side, just like the left does. And the American people have been brainwashed into believing that America has to engage in these foreign wars in order for us to survive. And it's absolutely not true.
And you have to love Fox News out here doing the devil's work, trying to dumb down the American populace one segment at a time. And this is the thanks you get. You know what I mean? Like, really? If they hadn't brought such a critical mass of our voters down to y'all's level, y'all wouldn't even be in office right now. And this is what you got to say about them. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, they ain't stopped.
Gee, and we have morons, fools running around the country. This isn't MAGA. This isn't MAGA. This isn't what I voted for. Donald Trump is a forever war president. How so? He's going to do what every president before him since Carter didn't have the guts to do. He's going to put an end to this damn thing. And that's what needs to happen. That's not a warmonger. That's a peacemaker. That is a man who's going to make sure this generation and future generations are protected from nuclear missiles coming out of the Middle East, from barbarian primitives from the 7th century. That's what he wants to do.
The American people have been brainwashed into believing that America has to engage in these foreign wars in order for us to survive. And it's absolutely not true.
And just in case you're wondering, because I basically have a whole week's worth of videos just outlining Fox News's gross misrepresentations of all things factual, here's Bibi echoing the same sentiments since 1996. Bibi first came out with this when Genuine was on the charts. Now here he is with Genuine doing retirement tours and still doing the same OG with the same line.
The deadline for attaining this goal is getting extremely close. And Iran, by the way, is also outpacing Iraq in the development of ballistic missile systems that they hope will reach the eastern seaboard of the United States within 15 years. By next spring, at most, by next summer, at current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage. From there, it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks, before they get enough enriched uranium for the first bomb. The foremost sponsor of global terrorism could be weeks away from having enough enriched uranium for an entire arsenal of nuclear weapons. That would place a militant Islamic terror regime weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year.
Now, one thing that would need to be addressed, though, is Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump, because that's going to be fascinating. Marge, you do know that everything that you said about Tucker and his popularity since leaving TV is complete opposite of what Trump had to say, right? That was the absurdity of him talking about he's not even on TV. when you literally tried to harness new media in order to get yourself elected. You realize what he said about Tucker, right?
I don't know what Tucker Carlson is saying. Let him go get a television network and say it so that people listen.
And quickly, have you spoken to Zelensky before your bylaws?
Now that might have hit me in a special place, because I remember a great number of people saying the same thing about me when I started my YouTube channel. He ain't on nowhere. So I kind of identify with the struggle. And y'all done did it. Y'all done did it. Here come Candace Owens. Yeah, no. It's going to hell now. Also known as her baby shower. Trump is now mocking Tucker for not being on TV. I don't know what Tucker Carlson is saying. Let him go get a television network and say it so that people listen, he says. Completely out of touch and ironic given the fact that podcasters won Trump the election. Hey, Donnie. Yeah, it's looking bad. Yeah, it's looking bad. Because you had Tucker Carlson, and he took his whole bow tie collection outside of your orbit. And then we had Marjorie Taylor Greene. She took her whole weight set, and she took some of those four-toed shoes, that four-toed shoe collection that she had. She took that outside of your orbit, and now you got Candace Owens. So I don't know what you better call in the big guns. You need somebody with the hate of 1,000 dead hearts. That is what you need. You got somebody? From Laura Loomer to Candace Owens, you constantly run cover for Islam, so surely you don't have an issue. Wow, that's where they go. That's where you went with it. Wow, I don't think you want to go there. Not from the right wing. You must be using the internet on a way back machine. You ought to go ahead and refresh that thing. And you wrote that on Elon Musk's platform after what he had to say? I don't care that he deleted it. These things are forever. So that's where you decide to go with it after what he had to say. And you was pretty quiet about that one too. I must say so myself. Look, I don't know what Candace gonna clap back with, but it's a lot of content. And that's before we get to anything photographic. Laura's strategy is to tell big lies about people who disagree with her to try to elicit a reaction. Tucker is funded by Qatar. Casey DeSantis is faking cancer. Candace is covering for Islam by being against new wars in the Middle East. It's getting tired, Laura. Did they say Casey DeSantis was faking cancer? Was that a thing? Huh. Well, now you got more people that can look into that now that they don't have AP African American Studies. Now they going to medical school now. And what is this about Tucker being funded by Qatar?
Look, I just showed the FARA registration form of this lobby firm called Lumini Advisors that listed Tucker Carlson as their point of contact when they organized this meeting between Tucker Carlson, this interview between Tucker Carlson and the Prime Minister of Qatar. And Tucker Carlson flew all the way to Qatar. Well, we have those FARA documents. We have the documents.
Wow. I had no idea that they could bring a crocodile head to life like that. That was pretty impressive. I'll be honest, that was pretty impressive. Now, here's the thing, Laura Loomer and Maga. I recognize, again, consistency isn't always your strong suit. Y'all gonna have to get this together because Steve Bannon, who's somebody who you love to trumpet, even echoed Tucker Carlson's sentiments going at Ted Cruz.
For Ted Cruz, yo, dude, I'm not exactly the churchiest guy in the world. And I know you're, Mr. Bible. When you talk about the Genesis thing, isn't our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ the new covenant? Now, I'm a Catholic, and the Catholics, as everyone knows, are not as intensely into the Bible. I think that's changing now, but particularly when I was raised. But in the Mass, the Catholic Mass at the most solemn part, the new and everlasting covenant. This whole thing, it was one of the most bizarre things I've ever heard in my life. A grown man that professes to be a Christian.
Now, he said the Catholics not as into the Bible. He should have said the Magas. We not as into the Bible. Well, a couple of select. What we do, we got a Cliff Notes. We got a Cliff Notes. This is everything that we believe and justifications that we could find somewhere in the Bible, even though we don't even know where those are at. It's a nice little Cliff Notes that you can buy at your local Hobby Lobby. That's what we worship. That's what we worship. Laura Loomer, you really want to be out on the curb with Ted Cruz eating lunch outside? Is that because that's what it's looking like? That's what it. I didn't think you wanted to be on that side of things, but it's looking that way. You know what I mean? Next vacation he has, because Lord knows these airline prices done gone up. He gonna have to take you in his carry-on. That's what that's gonna look like. You probably will pass security like that too. Yes, indeed, you are correct. Donald Trump completely fractured his base, and he did it for the very neocons who minted the Never Trump movement. Truly unbelievable.
And you hate to see it. But more than that, you love to see it.
And if y'all thought Candace Owens was done, clearly you're not one of us, because we have thought Candace Owens was done many, many times. She's never done. Our foreign policy is dictated by Israel. Trump will continue to do as he's told by Netanyahu. If you want to know what America will do, spare yourself the fake White House press briefings and start listening to Bibi. We are a colony of Israel. Your politicians are bought and paid for. I think I saw a sentiment just like that from Tim Pool. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what your country can do for Israel. And that is the same Tim Pool that was in the video with Laura Loomer, where she completely disqualified herself from proper society, yet apparently not the Trump White House, because those two things are apparently not mutually exclusive.
I truly believe that there may be different interpretations of what it means to commit treason. I truly believe that the people who engaged in the coup against Donald Trump and have caused civil unrest and chaos in our country for the last 7 years through Crossfire Hurricane, and also through these what I believe are illegal witch hunts against the president of the United States right now, unconstitutional witch hunts against Donald Trump. They are treasonous. They are traitors. They should get the death.
And there you have it. As far as the content of what she said, well, we saw that was the case by virtue of what Ted Cruz had to say when he was sitting down there trying to justify himself to Tucker Carlson. This has gotten unbelievably messy. Noted hate monger Jack Posobiec, regime change recent scorecard. Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, Libya, and Ukraine. And here we get Matt Walsh, who is definitely not racist, with not in quotes. I've always liked Senator Cruz and still do, but Christians are not obligated to have any particular stance one way or another about the modern state of Israel, which is a political entity like any other country. And then we get Ken O'Keefe in a tweet that was liked almost 250,000 times. They lied about Libya, they lied about Syria, they lied about Iraq, they are lying about Iran. Hey Ken, who lying? Huh? Not name names. No, we naming names today. No, we having it all out.
You combine fanaticism, no care for self-preservation, and radical religious belief with nuclear weapons, that is a danger.
Everything. She said you combine fanaticism, no care for self-preservation, radical religious belief, nuclear weapons. You can run for president? That 2028 qualifications? Okay. Because what that sounds like is a wish list to pass Project 2025. That's what that sounds like. And she said that is a danger? Huh. That is a danger. Well, while y'all having all these debates and conversations about America's defense, I'll tell you what's dangerous.
The images from the Situation Room that they have released here tonight show them huddled in the Situation Room. This is the at least the fourth time this week that we have learned that the team had been gathered in the Situation Room. Obviously, you see the president there, the vice president moments ago there at his side. You can see Susie Wiles there, chief of staff, and others gathered in the Situation Room here this evening as the mission was playing out. The president, a short time thereafter, posting online and on social media that this had been a success, in fact, telling the nation what had played out, applauding the U.S. troops and signaling to the American people that they were no longer in Iranian airspace, that they were now on their way home.
I believe the Secretary of Defense has just responded last week and admitted that the $1 billion mission that he led against the Houthis, who do not have a navy, has not restored the transit of U.S. flag commercial vessels through the Red Sea, and in fact has resulted in the loss of 2 F-18 Hornets to the tune of $60 million apiece, as well as, I believe the last count was 7 Reaper drones to the tune of another $200 million. You are blowing through money like my fellow cadets and I did in our first Liberty after basic camp. Luckily, I didn't end up with a questionable tattoo. Your failures, Mr. Secretary, since you've taken office has been staggering. You sent classified operational information over Signal to chest thump in front of your wife, who, by the way, has no security clearance, risking service member lives in the process. You blew the $1 billion fight against the Houthis, whom, again, as my colleague says, has no navy, and yet you lost all of those aircraft. You've created such a hostile command environment that no one wants to serve as your chief of staff or work with you in other senior DoD leadership roles. But what we should all be talking about more than all of this is that you have an unjustified, un-American misuse of the military in American cities, pulling resources and attention away from core missions to the detriment of the country, the war fighters, and yes, the war fighting that you claim to love. I don't know if this is because you are too inexperienced and incompetent to understand the real threats facing our country, or if it's because you are just an unqualified yes man who can't tell the president how to keep Americans safe. You are focusing on renaming bases for Confederate generals. You said just now to Senator King that to a man and to a woman, we would rather be associated with the old Confederate names. Well, I am one of those women. I served at Fort Rucker, Alabama, a base that was named for a traitor who took arms against the United States of America, led troops who killed Americans. It was renamed for Mike Novosel, a Medal of Honor recipient who, in his citation for the Medal of Honor, includes that he saved 29 American lives, to include hovering backwards in a helicopter towards an enemy bunker where a wounded American was laying and saved that person, including after being taken fire himself. I know a little something about what it takes to fly a helicopter when you've been hit by enemy fire. That was heroic. I'd rather be associated with Mike Novosel than a failed Confederate traitor. I don't know whether you are inexperienced or too incompetent, but I wonder when you will actually focus on our nation's warfighting mission.
And if that wasn't bad enough, with the propaganda being hosed out, as Tucker Carlson said, by Fox News, which has completely divided the right wing under the tutelage of Pete Hegseth, and that is assuming that those officers still there that haven't been DEI'd out of their positions aren't still listening to Candace Owens.
LG19 writes, serious question, will there be jobs or community military members can join when I get a dishonorable discharge for not contributing to delete people or my body for the interests of a certain foreign nation benefit? I love this question. I do believe that if war in Iran is on the agenda, and that appears so, get dishonorably discharged. Who cares? Who cares? Why should you go die in a foreign land? You now have the benefit of 2020. You can see, think about those men and those women who died because they were pitched that they were serving their country because there were weapons of mass destruction, right? They were serving their country because the Taliban, they were serving their country, whatever, and these people gave up their lives. And ask yourselves, for what? And the answer to that question is for the elites. They're like toy soldiers. And I would have said a few weeks ago that Trump would never do that to you. He would never just throw you into an Israeli war. But right now, our planes are flying in the sky and things are going nuclear. So I don't have that confidence anymore. And I'm comfortable with people being dishonorably discharged because the dishonor has come from our politicians. The dishonor has come from our politicians who routinely lie in our faces and are willing to let us die to serve their financial interests. So why don't they dishonorably discharge themselves from public office?
Hey, Trump, J.D. Vance, she was talking to y'all. She was talking to y'all. Would you say you sent Marjorie Taylor Greene to come take care of it? I think she got lost. Yeah, she over there eating with Tucker Carlson. Matter of fact, they're going to see Candace later. Yeah, they got Tim Pool over there. They got Jack Posobiec over there. They got Matt Walsh. Yeah, it's getting crowded. It's getting crowded. You might want to take care of it. What happened to Laura Loomer? She was in the reflecting pool last I saw. Then y'all know what happened to her?
A few moments later.
Hey, Trump, I found her. Yeah, she was sneaking behind Steve Bannon trying to cut him some bangs. But he was on his way over there as well. Yeah. It's looking haggard over there. That's all I'm saying. It's looking haggard. Only thing I see over there is Black Maga. I found it odd and sickening for individuals claiming to be Trump supporters to criticize him in public. Their need for attention is shameful. You know who you are. You can leave it to Black Maga to grovel to the very end, can't you? Can't you? You leave it to Black Maga to grovel to the very. At least I can give Candace Owens credit for that. But Black Maga, they gonna make sure there's no biscuits left in that tray before they leave. You know that, because we ain't heard nan word from Tim Scott or Byron Donalds or none of them. That is a shame. Even when the coast is clear, obviously, for opposition to be raised. I guess they're not ready to leave the plantation. Yeah. One day they might be free.
We have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan, all planes now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. And again, what we'll be reporting out in the hours to come is whether or not those were the 30,000-pound bombs that the U.S. military has tested significantly but never actually used in war. All planes, the president said, now safely on their way home. And he went on to say, congratulations to our great American warriors. There's not another military in the world, he said, that could have done this. Again, this is what he urged live before the American people as well. He said now it's the time for peace when it comes to Iran. And again, the warning that came from the president just a short time ago in addressing the American people and the world.
Who could have guessed that if you collect the most hateful, ill-intentioned, self-interested people possible and coalesce a group of them in the upper reaches of our government, that it wouldn't work out? See, most of us learn this about relationships in our teens and 20s. But we could have told you. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Thanks so much for watching the video. Yes, that's right. Your boy is back from vacation, feeling refreshed and ready to go.
So I'm gonna get on this plane or not? Yes, we do. All right. Yeah. So everyone's gonna shut up, and we're gonna say this once, and we're only gonna say it again because we're frustrated as hell.
And that definitely means you should be on the lookout for some new Way of Waters content. So make sure you check that out and subscribe to my second channel at Way of Waters. But while I was gone, y'all definitely held me down, and I appreciate that. I've mentioned before that I premiere all my videos, but did you know it actually gives me a ranking of who's doing the most work in the chat? They done messed around and passed Miss Ray. Shout out to All Things Go. I see Nick Adams, Non-Point in here, Patricia Jackson, Yolanda Gibson, Carney, my man Dank, I know Regina, I'm Just Jay, Roberta, and Alice in Kenzo Land. I see Honey Love, Jamal, Kat, Quentin, Tammy, Katrine, and Muriel rounding out the top 20.
Never could have made it without you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors.
Make sure you be on the lookout for notifications when I schedule my video releases and my premieres so you can rise up that leaderboard. And while we're on the topic of support, I gotta show some love to the Mod Squad. No, not that Mod Squad. I'm talking about our Mod Squad. That is Mariana, Dank, Deshauna, Roberta, Free Me, Larry, Chernobyl, and of course, Miss Ray, who have made this channel a place where so many people feel comfortable being themselves, expressing, sharing, growing, and learning together. And I, for one, am eternally grateful to all of you for your contribution.